Alexis knows the truth, and Willow knows her secrets. One move could destroy them both. The office was dark except for the glow of a single desk lamp, its light pooling over stacks of legal files that Alexis Davis had read a dozen times already. Outside, Port Charles slept, but Alexis couldn't. Not tonight. Not with the words still echoing in her head. You either protect me, or I tell the police everything. Alexis closed her eyes and exhaled slowly. She had faced killers, mobsters, and courtroom battles that nearly broke her. But this was different. This was personal. This was Willow. Earlier that evening, Willow had stood right where Alexis now sat, her hands trembling even as her voice stayed eerily calm. She hadn't denied it. She hadn't cried. She had simply told the truth in fragments, just enough to be terrifying. It had been an accident, or maybe it hadn't. A moment of rage, a moment of fear, a moment where Willow had believed someone else's life mattered less than her own. Attempted murder, and Alexis was the only one who knew. Alexis rose from her chair and paced the room, the floor creaking beneath her steps. As a lawyer, she knew the law cold. As a mother, she knew fear. As a woman who had made her own catastrophic mistakes, she understood how fast a single choice could destroy everything. Willow hadn't come to her for advice. She'd come with leverage. "If you don't make this disappear," Willow had said quietly, "I'll tell them what you did years ago, every secret you buried." Alexis's jaw tightened at the memory. She had worked too hard to rebuild her life, to regain her integrity, her career, her sense of self, to let it all be dismantled by blackmail. And yet, turning Willow in would shatter multiple families. It would devastate Michael. It would ripple outward, hurting people who had nothing to do with the crime. But justice didn't bend for convenience. Alexis stopped pacing and stared at a framed photo on her desk, her daughters smiling, unaware of how many moral compromises her mother had made in the name of protection, how many lines she had blurred. Is this who I am now? She wondered. Someone who lets a crime slide because the truth is inconvenient? The next morning, Alexis requested a private meeting with Willow at the hospital courtyard. The sun was bright, almost cruel in contrast to the heaviness between them. Willow arrived guarded, her eyes darting as if she expected handcuffs to appear at any second. "You said you needed to talk," Willow said carefully. "Yes," Alexis replied, folding her hands. "About your ultimatum." Willow's shoulders stiffened. "I meant what I said." "I know," Alexis said calmly, "and that's exactly why this conversation needs to happen." Willow swallowed. "You're going to help me, right?" Alexis studied her, the fear beneath the bravado, the desperation wrapped in self-righteous justification. What you did wasn't just a mistake. It was a crime, one that could have ended a life. Tears welled in Willow's eyes. "You think I don't know that? I live with it every day." "And yet," Alexis continued, "you chose to weaponize it, to blackmail someone into silence." Willow's voice cracked. "I was trying to survive." "So was the person you almost killed," Alexis shot back, then softened. "Listen to me. I understand fear. I understand panic. But what I will not do is trade my soul to protect yours." Willow shook her head in disbelief. "You're really going to turn me in?" Alexis stood. "I'm giving you a choice. You go to the authorities yourself, with a lawyer, and take responsibility, or I do it for you." Silence stretched between them, heavy and unyielding. "You'd destroy my life," Willow whispered. Alexis met her gaze without flinching. "No, your choices already set that in motion. I'm just refusing to let blackmail decide what justice looks like." Willow broke then, sobs racking her body as she covered her face. "I thought you'd understand." "I do," Alexis said quietly. "That's why I'm doing this the hard way." Later that night, Alexis sat alone again, but this time the room felt lighter. The decision had been brutal, but it was right. For the first time in a long while, she hadn't taken the easiest path. She had taken the honest one. Outside the police station, Willow stood frozen, her future hanging in the balance. Alexis waited nearby, not as an enemy, but not as a shield either. "This is where I stop protecting you," Alexis said gently, "and where you start taking responsibility." Willow nodded, wiping her tears. "I'm scared." "So am I," Alexis admitted, "but fear doesn't excuse us from doing what's right." As Willow stepped through the doors, Alexis felt the weight lift, not because the outcome would be painless, but because the truth was finally free. In Port Charles, secrets often won, but tonight, integrity did, and for Alexis Davis, that mattered more than any threat ever could.